Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming to this session on solutions to improve urban mobility and achieve sustainable development. Addressing the challenges facing cities in the field of urban mobility is central to achieving sustainable development around the globe. The use of smart technologies while encouraging behavioral changes is giving rise to groundbreaking solutions for reducing traffic and CO2 emissions and thereby improving the quality of life in our cities. In this session today, I'm joined by some of the leading players in this field working on innovative solutions to these challenges, who will be presenting their solutions to you today. This is what we call an elevator pitch format, so they have 4 minutes each to present their solutions, and then we will be taking questions from the audience. So I do encourage you, there's an application where you could called Ask and Vote, where you can post your questions, or you can also stand, and I encourage you to do that after the session. So we're starting today with Alessandro Caviasca, who's the CEO and founder of Siarq, which is a Barcelona-based design and engineering company specialized in the use and integration of renewable energies in architecture and urban products, such as solar streetlights, smart sculptures, and innovative advertising support structures. So I give the floor to you. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm shortly going to present Siarq and Solar Hub and the Shock program. In Siarq, we work for zero-emission cities by integrating solar energy in urban landscape. Since 2003, we deliver advanced solar design solution. But in Siarq, we truly believe the city that nice and healthy city and friendly city can be only the result of a strong collaboration of the local ecosystem. That's why we have launched the Shock program, Solar Hub Open Collaboration Program. This Shock program is, we launched this program to rethink the city and to invite citizens to co-create and to rethink the new generation of urban furniture, the Solar Hub. Solar Hub is a really new generation of urban furniture that has basically 3 basic features. And one is that is sustainable lighting. Sustainable lighting means that, of course, the energy is produced by the sun. Something is wrong, sorry. Because the energy produced by the sun. Of course, the excess of energy can be injected into the grid, so it's a kind of micro-generation system. Also, one of the other features is that it's compact and it is intelligent. Why is compact? Because it's only one element. So the Solar Hub can be really a space, can give space and energy to the IoT devices. Spaces, because in this round shape can give access to sensors and devices for smart cities, and energy, because we have inside possibility to provide energy also during the day. And finally is a new economic booster. Is a new economic booster because we really see that the new generation of urban entrepreneur can interact with Solar Hub and can interact with the big data generated by the sensors and devices integrated in this new generation of urban furniture. To do that, we created a Shock program that is composed by 5 phases. A first phase is where we understand the context needs of a particular municipality, a local authority. Then we install a pilot installation of the version 1.0. And then we make a second workshop where we are going to understand the specific needs that we have in this particular municipality. And then after that, we upgrade our product to a version 2.0, where all the sensors are integrated inside. And then it comes the best moment, the third step, where we are going to all together trying to identify new services, a new business model, to have really a zero cost of this infrastructure at the crossroad between communication and energy for the municipalities. We are now launching in Barcelona the SHOCK program together with the support of the telecom company Cellnex. And what we will really like is to export this SHOCK program around the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We'll next be hearing from Thomas Hohenacker, who's the CEO of Wwecity Systems from Munich. Thank you.
Okay, so what do I do? Ah, here we go. And to go to the next one, I just press here?
Yes, I believe that's
okay.
yeah.
So trying to find a parking space in these days is probably one of the most time-wasting activities on a worldwide basis. Average 20 minutes search time, and about 30% of all cars are just out there looking for a parking space. But why is that? Because it's based on a medieval system called luck. And in our world where we deal with data, I mean, it's a system, this luck system has dramatic effects. For instance, if you're living in Paris, you could spend 3 years of your life trying to find a parking space altogether. In Italy, it's only 2 years. So it's really time to change that luck system and letting people drive around blindly, which has a dramatic effect on the environment. So we created at Wwecity a new system to look at that situation from the top and offer a new service to drivers around the world. So the Wwecity parking sensors are typically installed on large buildings or on lampposts, because the lampposts becoming the strategic hub for smart cities in general. And we analyze all the spaces from the top. So one sensor can analyze up to 300 spaces, looking at from the top, and of course all the zones attached to it. And so on the left side you see our long-range sensor, which can supervise and monitor very large areas. And on the right side is our lamppost sensor, which typically covers about 30 parking spaces and delivers that information, all processed inside the sensor, delivers that GPS information directly to the drivers. And we also have a very seamless integration into modern luminaires, and of course, changing lighting, saving energy through light, and then saving energy and time for the drivers, and saving CO2 pollution is a very seamless and wonderful integration into these modern luminaires. This is, for instance, an installation we have in Australia on a smart lamppost, so avoiding the traffic that circles uselessly around the beach, and people know right away where to park. There's another application here in universities and hospitals, also trying to avoid the traffic. And what we actually do at Wwecity, we measure the size of each parking space, because we want to make sure that also smaller cars can enter the city, because we don't want to define the spaces and the big boxes for the biggest possible car anymore, but really for small, versatile city cars, such as electric cars and other smaller cars that are more city useful. This is a view, for instance, from above the sensor, or just a schematic where you see the sensor looks very much to the right and to the left. The installation is very quick. It takes about 20 minutes to install a sensor, and then immediately that information can be shown and displayed to the users through various means. These are some examples in city centers where, for instance, in Rotterdam, near Frankfurt, and in quite a few other cities around the world. We have worked very hard last year or this year, and are coming up with about 30 installations, and have just won also the City of Westminster, where we are installing our sensors actually this week. But we also offer some additional services, and one of these services, for instance, also for bikers, and we display when somebody is parking on the biking lane, so we can also make sure that the bikers have their way and can move around without any obstacles. And of course then there is the front end, which is the app, which guides the user directly to the space, but also very important for the city, the backend to manage all their spaces, to analyze where are people actually parking, because these days the cities are almost like a hotel owner and they don't really know who's in my hotel and where is he. So this provides a lot of intelligence to the cities as such. And at the end of the day, what this is all about in a smart city is to increase the quality of life for everybody living there, increase the quality of air, reduce pollution, and that's our task at Clever City. That's what we're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Thomas. Our next speaker is Paolo Ferri, who's the CEO and co-founder of Wwecity in Italy.
Good afternoon, everyone. How is it? Okay. Yes, we are more on behavioral change, and we use behavioral change in order to reward and increase sustainable mobility. A couple of years ago, we started working around the idea that people walking and cycling and using public transportation, they all have something in common, and they are like a community, really. So that we thought that if we were able to empower that community and to reward their members and make them feel proud about it, then we could really do something useful for sustainable mobility. And so we created Wwecity. Wwecity is the application that rewards every form of sustainable mobility. So again, walking, cycling, use public transportation, carpooling, basically everything but driving your car alone. With Wwecity, you can now earn CO2 credits every time you commute, because the way you do it, the way you commute, saves CO2 emission on the atmosphere. And with the credit thing, also comes into play gamification, because as a user, you can compete with other users, become the greenest user in town, or become an eco-warrior or ninja biker or whatever you like to be called. And once you have enough credits, you can exchange credits as if they were real money in order to obtain free or highly discounted products. And by highly discounted, I mean something that you cannot find on Groupon, okay? So real value for the user. Of course, we get these products from partner companies, and you may wonder, why do companies partner with us? And I give you two main reasons. Number one is that these companies are advertising, but they don't pay us in cash, but they barter products for advertising. And number two, they generate meaningful contents for their communication. Look at this example. Tucano, it's a famous Italian brand for bags and accessories. They can now claim that more than 1,000 people move their asses cycling a total of 150,000 kilometers, thus saving 19 tons of CO2. And they achieved this with 1 week campaign and 2 free bags that they gave us for a total retail price of 100 euros. So really, really effective. The platform is also open to public administration, public transportation companies, and big corporations that use a reward budget through our platform to target a specific group of individuals. Like in this case, a public transportation company wants to reward their annual subscribers with foldable bikes in order to strengthen intermodality. Of course, in return, they get useful data and analytics to improve their transportation service or urban mobility. And last but not least, Wwecity runs on an algorithm, a proprietary algorithm that can detect the actual kind of displacement. So if you say you are cycling while you are driving your SUV, you get no points, okay? You get no credits. And thanks to this algorithm, Wwecity is today the only app in the world with the ISO 14064 certification, which means that the avoided CO2 emission are real, are certified, and are tradable, either by Wwecity or another organization. So if you are in need to encourage sustainable mobility in your area or inside your corporation, please get in contact with us. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll next hear from Ros Sanchez from the Technical Institute of Energy in Valencia.
Well, hi to everyone. Okay. Yes. Well, the Energy Institute is a R&D institute mainly focused on the energy sector, and well, our working lines are the smart grids, the e-mobility, and the smart city. And well, one work that resumes our work is the CEO, the CAE project that aims to measure the energy resources of the city in order to reduce the CO2 emissions, and as well to improve the energy saving. The project has 3 layers, and well, it's good. 3 layers. That the low layer is the building controller that manages the building resources, and also includes the renewable energies like photovoltaic and eolic, and even the storage, the energy storage systems. And also we include the infrastructure of the electric vehicle. The middle layer is the microgrid controller that englobes different buildings, and like a neighborhood or a factory. And the upper layer is the smart city controller, that is a web page that manages all the microgrids that performs the city. That's the same. Okay, sorry. And well, on IT we have a vision to develop that idea in order to make aware the citizens for their energy consumption, and also to reach the idea of the green cities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Thank you, Angel. Our next speaker is Alex Mateo, who's Marketing and Communications Specialist at Libelium.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, actually, my role is Smart Cities, Industry Manager for Smart Cities. At Libelium, we are experts in designing and manufacturing hardware for IoT and smart city applications. So it's not working. Okay. Sorry. So this is the vision that we have about the connected world. So we think it is possible to monitor every asset, every parameter in a city, and send information wirelessly. So we are experts designing wireless sensor networks. We do it buying sensors from the market to monitor air quality, water quality, waste management, energy efficiency, parking, traffic, whatever it is needed, and send the information wirelessly. So in every IoT or in every smart city project, we identify 3 common elements: sensors, wireless communication protocols, and cloud platforms. So Libelium covers the first 2 parts. We integrate the sensor from the market, and we send information wirelessly. So right now we have around 100 sensors to monitor all the vertical applications that I mentioned before, and 15 communication protocols. We are always adding new communication protocols, because we never know who is going to prevail in the future, if it is going to be 4G, 5G, 6FOX, LoRaWAN, whatever. So we play with all of them. At the same time, in case the customer doesn't like the sensor that we buy, our hardware is quite horizontal, quite modular, so we can integrate new sensor from the market. So we adapt to the specifications of every sensor. So as we just provide the hardware, because we are experts in that, we will never provide the visualization, the applications, the software. We cannot extract the valuable information from that data. Okay, so to avoid that, to solve that problem, we in our gateway we install several agents to export this information, this data, to 33 cloud platforms, such as Amazon, ThinkWorks, Esri, IBM, Indra, and we are always adding new cloud platforms. Actually, we have just released 9 of them during this Smart City Expo. So these are our devices. They are battery power. You can recharge the battery with a solar panel, with electricity in a street light, and then you can connect up to 6 sensors to every device. So you can monitor 6 parameters, or maybe 7 or 8, depending on the sensor, per device. So this is a summary of the cities we have been working with. So with that experience that we gain from different urban planning, different experiences and different points of view, we try to translate this information to our devices to make them more compatible and usable. Applications, detecting the level of the garbage in bins so we can redesign the collection routes, preventing pollution in upstream a city, downstream industrial park, air quality monitoring, or smartphone detection to track people, count people, or define walking patterns in a shopping center or in a city. One of our strongest points is that once we build one data acquisition platform, as we have 100 sensors, we can give to the city manager very easily an idea of what's going on in related problems. Air quality will be related to parking, to traffic, to noise. Okay, so we will give a big picture of what's going on in the city. For instance, this is a screenshot of Santander, a place where we deploy 1,000 sensors. And if you talk to our competitors, they will deploy the waste management solution. It will not be compatible with the air quality solution. So we try to give everything compatible to the city manager. And if you're not too tired, we have a stand in 505 before 7 p.m. So you are invited to come here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Oren Ezer, who's co-founder and CEO of Israeli company ElectRoad. You've got the microphone here, and you're there. And you can go down there without two, yeah.
Good. Thank you, Nicky. It's a pleasure to be part of this session. Air pollution is a global issue, and I would like to highlight a few facts. More than 50% of the population currently lives in urban areas. More than 60% of all travels are made within urban environment. All pollutants will cause approximately 8 million global fatalities by 2020. 1/4 of carbon emissions is caused by the transport section. One of the keys to address this issue is a shift to electric mobility. So let's focus on public transportation. One option could be using a trolley bus. This is an expensive solution with high maintenance costs and definitely not friendly to the environment. The next option, which is more common today, is using an electric bus with a battery. The main challenge facing this approach is the limited energy storage capacity, which result in a battery that weighs third of the bus and costs almost half, 5 tons, 250k euro. Imagine, it's like loading and the Barcelona orchestra before even taking the first passenger. So before jumping into the technology, I would like to share with you a story about family traveling with a horse, and they are taking all the food the horse needs for the travel. Isn't it ridiculous? The horse can eat anywhere, anytime, so you don't need to carry your energy with you. ElectRoad takes a different approach. We removed the energy source from the bus and power it wirelessly from a minimal infrastructure on the road while the bus is driving. By removing the energy source, we dramatically reduced cost and weight and eliminated the range anxiety. So ElectRoad will offer a green city bus line solution in cooperation with bus operators. The system contains 3 main elements: receiver, placed at the bottom of the bus transmit the energy directly to the engine at the same format like a battery. It will be easy to adjust in any electric vehicles. The next one is conductive stripe installed under the traffic lane 8 centimeters below the asphalt and transmit the energy wirelessly to the receiver. And the last one is smart inverter. Transform the energy from the electricity grid to the stripe and communicate in real time with all vehicles within the system. The stripe is passive. Only the part below the bus will be active when the bus traveling on the stripe. The bus has small energy source as backup in order to enable to drive even 50 kilometers without the infrastructure. And the deployment is very easy and quick. Our goal is to reach 1 kilometer within 1 working day. And our vision is to create a platform for the next generation of the autonomous vehicles. So it's not a dream. We have already a system. We tested it in Tel Aviv last year. We have an electric car driving on 25 meter stripe. And it's not only green, it's cost saving. As compared to the alternative, we can show economic viability. More than 50% reduced cost as compared to electric bus. So, forget about charging or carrying your energy with you. ElectRoad will offer an open platform for all kinds of vehicles, which is green, clean, and cost effective. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next is Laurent Guennoc, who works at Ecocon from France, and he will be presenting EcoVision maps.
Good afternoon to everyone. So at Ecocon, we think that bicycle commuting is one solution to either, as we had previously, a solution to reduce the pollution in the cities, but also to solve the transportation issues we have in the cities. That's why we developed a solution for the bike planners to really analyze deeply and take decisions based on facts, based on the bicycle traffic in the city. The idea is to collect GPS traces, accident data, or any information such as bicycle counts and any other data, bring this into a cloud-based platform that will analyze all the collected information in order to provide to the bicycle planners good analysis of the bicycle traffic in the city. Here is an example of the North municipality. We developed this solution with them, and this is the map of the counters we have with a fixed permanent counter installed in the city, and the heat map of the traffic there. Then we collect the GPS traces from the bicycle rides through different sources of application, like the European Cycling Challenge that is running in Europe every year. So we can collect all the GPS traces this way, and few figures on the data collection. 22 tons of CO2 saved through more than 1,200 participants that shared the data. We can also use different apps existing in the market, like Cycling 365, for example, or even develop a customized application, as we did in Toronto and Montreal. Once we get these GPS traces, our solution is able to clean the traces, because we need to make sure the GPS traces are linked to a correct network, either a bicycle or another network. And we can even link the figures to real counting figures. So we are able to extrapolate the traces collected and to get a real traffic information. So this will provide us with maps like this, for example, where we have the overall bicycle traffic in Nantes, for example. All the different colors are illustrating different volume of traffic. We can also, by superposing the bicycle network, we can identify the traffic on the bicycle network. So here we see all the bike facilities available in Nantes. And by doing this, we can also get what we call the desire lines. This is the places where we have a lot of bicycle traffic, but we don't have any bike infrastructure. So this is typically places where the bike planners have to invest in the planification. We can also run different analyses such as the origin destination to identify from where people are coming when they go to the downtown city center, for example, or imagine or identify where are the people going when they use their bike to ride. And also different analyses such as the speed analysis on the bicycle network. And for example, extrapolate the figures and see the difference with the average speed and identify the black spots like in the city center of Nantes. And also different application, but yeah, it's hard to present everything in 4 minutes. So I will leave you some brochures at the end of the room after the session, if you want. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Frank van Os, who's co-founder and CEO of SmartMile Solutions, based in the Netherlands.
Thank you, Nicky. This works? Okay. Hello, everybody. Let me share some challenges of e-commerce deliveries nowadays into cities. There is a dramatic increase in traffic from all these vans trying to deliver your parcels to your home, and it causes congestion and pollution, and it's growing all the time. But then even when you're living in the city, as a consumer, you don't even have a good control over receiving your parcels, because you may not be home when your parcel is being delivered, and when you choose to pick up your parcel at a collection point, you cannot do it at the same point for all the shops you buy online, because they all use different networks. And even for couriers getting into the city, it's getting more and more difficult. There is congestion, there is traffic, and cities are increasingly making regulations to ban these vans out of the city. So that's why we developed SmartMile Solutions, the first sustainable and truly shared urban delivery network. And it works like this. We install a number of pack robots, very innovative self-service parcel stations across the city. And we work together with local delivery companies for inner city transport, who do that in a more sustainable way, using electrical vans and cargo bikes to deliver your parcels into your preferred pack robot. Then we enable you as the inhabitant, as the consumer who buys online, to receive all your parcels in your favorite pack robot, in your neighborhood, or maybe in the shopping center where you come at a daily basis. And then it will be available 24/7 for pickup. So when you can go there, you want to pick it up. We open up this service also to couriers, because they like to use it. For them it will be a more efficient and cheaper way to deliver the parcels into the city. But at the same time, doing this, they deliver their end clients also a much better experience of receiving their parcels. The technology of this is Pack Robot. It's the latest innovation in self-service parcel stations. It has a huge capacity, and it can be placed outdoors and indoors, and like regular locations would be shopping centers, public area, stations for people who commute. And actually, if you want to see one, we have one here at the Estonian Pavilion. So you're all invited to come there after this presentation and try it yourself. It's really a wild piece of technology. We have started this concept in Germany, in the city of Nagold, and we are expanding into Germany now and further into Europe, talking at this event to several cities who are interested. And so If you want to be the next city to host this innovative urban delivery platform, just let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you, Frank. Next is Xavier Peix, who's president of SmartHalo from Montreal.
Hi, hola, buen día. Let me tell you something that I know is true, but very few people know. Biking will become the most important means of transportation of the 21st century. It's the future, but it's also the present. Think of cities like Amsterdam or Copenhagen, or even here in Barcelona. 10 years ago, it was impossible to bike. Now there's cycling lanes everywhere, and you see bikers around the city. You know, it's efficient, it's good for health, it's good for the city. You know, we're not going to go back to a world where only cars rule the city. We're not going to go back there. It's only going to accelerate, and we're going to have more and more bikers in the city. You know, even in the States, in most cities, we have seen tremendous increase in usage. But how do we make it safer? You know, as bike usage increases, we'll have more accidents as well. Well, this is why we built SmartHalo. SmartHalo, it's a device that you install on your handlebar and pairs with your smartphone to turn your old bicycle into a full-fledged smart bike. What we've built is a circular interface made of simple LEDs, so there's no screen, no numbers, no maps. It's just a circle of light that changes to guide you around the city. And since it's a circle, it can show all types of instructions, not just left and right, but also, you know, slight right. SmartHalo stays on your bike all the time. You don't have to remove it, and it's impossible to steal. So whenever you come near your bike, the light turns on, and whenever you leave, the light turns off automatically. You don't have to think about it. And when you leave your bike behind, its internal sensors will detect any movement not made by you. That means it will keep your bike safe against thieves. SmartHalo also allows you to track your fitness metrics, you know, distance, speed, elevation, and you can consult that inside the app. Also, SmartHalo will notify you for incoming calls, and SMS, or, you know, weather alerts. We initially got our start on Kickstarter last year, and since then we kept selling on our own website. So basically we've been selling something that doesn't exist. We've had more of $1 million in sales since then. We've sold 6,000 units, so we have one here. I can show you after. So we've sold in 71 countries. We're starting to deliver those units at the end of the year. Now we struck a deal with PBSC. It's the world leader in bike sharing. They have their solutions in, you know, small cities, London, New York, Boston, Chicago, Toronto. They have over 50,000 bikes in their fleet. Now we're working with them to integrate our tech onto their bikes. So whenever the bikes are paired with a phone, means the bikes are fully trackable. You can know not only origin and destination, but the full path. That means that cities can plan, you know, the infrastructure a little bit better because they have real data that doesn't require user to press start or stop. It just starts tracking automatically. Maybe you've you know, felt this at some point where you go to a station and it's full. So you have to stop and look where's the next station. With a touch of one button, you could be rerouted to the next station that has space. You know, it could include tourist guides, and it's an evolutive solution in the sense that it's based in an app on your phone, so we can always add updates later. That's it. We're at booth 100. Come see us or come see me at the end of this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Xavier. And last but not least is Gnther Lenz, who's research engineer from the Department of Mobility at the Austrian Institute of Technology.
Hi, welcome. We developed a system called Trauma Intact because every year in Vienna, 2,000 service disruptions are caused by wrongly parked vehicles on the street for public transport lines, especially for tram lines. The hotspots for these service disruptions are narrow streets, historical city centers, everywhere where is not enough space for public transport lines and parking cars. So we developed the tram and takt system with the following approach. There is a 3D video-based analysis system mounted on the lamppost, which detects the parking cars. And if a parking car is not parked correct, it gives a warning to the driver via this flashing sign. Here you can see on the lower side. So the driver is alerted that he parks not correct, and he should relocate his car to do not block the tramway. We have now 3 test sites in Vienna, shown here on these 3 pictures. And as you can see, they are all on very narrow streets. There is very less space between the parked cars and the tramway lines. The minimum place is between 5 and 10 centimeters between the mirror of the car and the tramway. So you have to park very exact. And our system analyzes the parked cars and gives them the alert. What we have reached with our system, we reduced the blockages on the 3 test sites in a significant manner. And a 4-month test site in 2030, we reduced from 7 to 10 in average in the last years to 2 blockages. And in the 2 now ongoing test sites, we reduced in a period over 6 to 8 months from 7 to 8 blockages to only 3 blockages. So as 1 blockage means that the service disruption is about 15 to 40 minutes, we saved for a lot of people a lot of lifetime sitting in a tram who doesn't move forward. We did this project not by ourselves, but also with partners. One partner was the Wiener Linien, the public transport provider in Vienna, and the other one is SLR Engineering, who is a video image processing company in Austria. Yes, that's it.
Thank you very much. Great. So it's now time for questions from the floor. So we have some questions here coming through the app. So this is for Gnther Lenz. Is the phenomenon of badly parked vehicles culturally linked? If so, how can we address the roots of the problem?
It's a good. Does it work? Yeah. It's a good question. We have only test sets now in Vienna, and we cannot say anything about if it is cultural linked. Sorry for that.
Okay. There's another question coming through. Technological innovation must move ahead hand in hand with behavioral change. How can public administrations help by encouraging a change in mindset? I know Paolo Ferri, I think, spoke.
Well, what we have seen until now is that public administration can use our platform and simply allocate a reward budget in order to target a specific group of individuals, and they obtain immediate results. So this is the solution we are providing up to now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. There's another question coming through regarding the parking solutions. When we'll take into account the size of the parking slot. So do you take into account the size of the parking slot?
I think this question was for Wwecity, but the guy is not here now.
Oh, he's left. Okay. I think those are all the questions from the app, but I do encourage the audience. Go ahead. Yep. The technical person can come and help with the microphone. Okay, yeah, it's working now.
I wanted to ask about the urban mobility is moving towards electrification, and how do you see wireless charging as alternative, because you can significantly reduce the battery size you might require to roam around. So is there any development going on that? Is something? I don't know for whom it's for, but
I will try.
I think someone wants to have. Yeah.
There is a standard already, and all the car makers are going to that direction for charging wirelessly the battery.
Okay.
So I hope next year you will buy an electric car with wireless charging.
So it's a feasible model, you say?
It's not only feasible, it exists already. So.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, thanks. Does anybody else have a question? No? Okay, well, thank you very much for coming. I think clearly one of the most important challenges still facing sustainable development in our cities is related to urban mobility. And I think we've heard some very interesting solutions here today, technical innovations, but also ones encouraging behavioral changes, which I think is one of the keys as well to face these challenges today. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming.